instead of your name. What's up, peeps? What's wrong? King, what's wrong? You got to go out and come back in. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that was. But hello. It would not be their POV with Nick and King without some type of technical issue. Welcome back to another fun-filled, yet we're going to get into some real hot topic episode of their POV with Nick and King. We are your host, Nikki Johnson, and he is King Harrington. He will return in just a second whenever we figure out what is going on. But I would love it if you say something. Let me know that you're watching so I can properly say hello to you. And while you are doing that, we're going to give him a moment to pop back in. If you have not done so already, please share. Please share this episode. We got a lot of great topics for you all today. He is back.
Ooh, okay.
I'm not going to tell you what that sounded like.
Don't worry about it. I'm sorry. How's everybody doing? I guess that's all I can say. I hope everybody's fine because, yeah, I thought I was in an earthquake too. Okay.
It was real. Okay. All right. Mr. Vet says, hey, it's me. Dghtr, that's all. Well, hello, Mr. Vet. That is all. How
Hello,
are you?
Miss Vet. Hey, ma'am. How are you?
You know what? If I was back in church back in the day, the mother of the church will come around with this piece of paper because I forgot I had gum in my mouth. Y'all remember that back in the day at church? What's wrong? You can't hear me? Can you hear me? Can anybody respond to me and let me know if you can hear me? Because I'm not sure if he could hear me or not. Mr. Vet, can you tell me if you can hear me, sweetheart? Okay, yes, I see your comment. All right, you said that you are good. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Because I don't know what's going on today with the technology, but thank you for joining us, Mr. Vet, and all those who are still coming in. Y'all come on in and sit down at the dinner table. It is time for us to conversate, have some conversation, and talk about some things. We're going to give King a couple of moments to figure out what's going on in his life. How is everyone's weekend? How was your weekend? Because mine was fabulous. Mine was so delicious. Y'all know I celebrated my birthday yesterday. Well, I celebrated all month, but yesterday was the official day. He's trying to come back in right now. All right, King, I see you trying. Keep going, baby. Here you go.
Okay, I am so sorry.
Can you hear me, King?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
Okay. All right, we're going to jump into it. How was your weekend?
Weekend was great. Enjoyed it. Loved it. Was chilling. Really didn't do too much, but, and my Boston Celtics won, so I feel real great about that. And that's pretty much it. And you, Nick, how was yours? Besides the obvious.
Thank you, Vet. Oh, my Lancer. My weekend was fabulous. It was so good. Again, y'all know I do celebrate all month, but it was the official. King, you're fine. You're fine, King. You're good. I can still hear you. So I celebrated my birthday yesterday. I just had an amazing time. Let me take this as a moment. I think I'm leaving up today. You got to go out again? Are you good? Okay, so I got to mute you, love. I don't know what it's doing. Okay. I'm going to need another co-host today. I'm sorry, y'all. He has to go out again. Hello, Sean. Welcome, sweetheart. Welcome. I may need you to co-host with me. I want to take this moment out to thank each and every one of you for all of the amazing messages and birthday wishes and cash apps and flowers and candy and food and dinners and cakes and desserts and all kind of stuff. I actually do need you, Sean, because this is his fourth time. I don't know what's going on. So I really do probably need to send you the code so you can join me if you're cool with that. So I was absolutely blessed, and beyond all of the manifested love through gifts, the phone calls, the text messages, the DMs, and just hearing how you all feel towards me or what impact I've had in your life. I was in tears. Matter of fact, I was even in tears. Okay, I'm gonna send it to you, Sean. I was in tears this morning. Somebody just had me bawling this morning. I tell you, God is so good the way he loves on you. Sean, I'm going to send it to you through Facebook Messenger. So whenever you're able to jump on, please do so. That way, if he has to jump out again, at least we can continue on with the topic. So let me send this to you now. I'm sorry, y'all. Give me a moment. It's live. Things happen. So again, thank you all so much. Sean, I just sent it to you, sweetheart. From the bottom of my heart, thank you, thank you, thank you. But I also, I want to take a moment to say that my heart and my prayers go out to the families of the 10 people that lost their lives in Buffalo, New York yesterday, as well as those who were injured in that very hurtful massacre, murder. Those are my words. Those are my words. Which seemed to be a racially motivated mass murder. And I'm just so very sorry for anyone who is related to or loved any of the people that lost their lives or were injured.
Okay.
Okay.
Can we hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. So I definitely want to just, send out my condolences, my prayers for each and every one of them. If you all did not know, just when you're done watching this, go Google it, because I don't want to. I've been crying enough over the weekend, so I don't want to even do that. But so heart goes out to them, prayers for sure. And when someone passes away, we always pray for the family. You got to pray for the people that even knew them. They had friends and co-workers, neighbors, the workers that were at these stores, even the people that he chose not to kill because they were not black. The PTSD that they that they may experience just going through that situation. And I pray for the young man that did the killing. I'm praying for his family as well. That's a lot. It's a lot. So I just wanted to touch on that, and also again say thank you to all of you who did send me love. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Sean, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Welcome, and thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Sean has joined us in case you got to jump off again, because I wasn't sure what's going on with you.
Right. Yeah.
Technology.
What's up,
Sean,
Frank?
how are you, love? How was your weekend? How was your weekend, Sean?
It was pretty good. Didn't do too much. Like I said, a lot going on with my family, as King knew, and it's been kind of rough back and forth this week, and just working and dealing with some health issues. But other than that, I woke up this morning, so I thank God for that. So other than that, it's been good.
Thank you so much, because I do know. And again, prayers and condolences for your family as well. We're not going to put your business out there, but y'all please keep them lifted up in prayer. Terry says, hey, peeps. Hey, team.
What's up, Harris?
Thank my mother. I'm thanking her for being as strong as she is. She's going to try to jump on, but she just got released out of the hospital. So, yeah, yeah.
Wow.
It's been a lot.
Okay. Yeah,
God is good.
That's good. All the time. Yeah.
It's absolutely good. So with that said, let's jump into these hot topics. All righty, King. The first one up is your pick. So go ahead.
Okay, y'all. First one we're gonna hit is this. Let's see, iconic. Years like we go all the way back to, if I'm not mistaken, this should be in the '60s. Um, the Roe versus Wade. The situation with the abortion. My thing was, I feel kind of bad on them wanting to overturn this because I feel, women should have the right to do what they need to do, what they want to do with their bodies, either way. And I don't feel the state should be able to regulate it. When you're looking at where in their spouses or their boyfriends or whatever, they can't make that decision for them. So why should the state or the government, federal government, be able to do it? So I just feel that it was something I wanted to bring, out and just get people's opinions. You know what I'm saying? Especially, the women, but males also. You know what I'm saying? How they feel about, being able to have to be told what to do in a certain situation. We all know that women go through a lot during, birth or just the whole pregnancy situation. So I feel that if it gets to a point where, you can't continue it or however you feel about that move, it should be up to you. It should be to your discretion. It should be your decision. So with that being said, I mean, that's my point of view. That's my point. I feel like as a woman, you should have the final say so. It should be your decision. Either way. I don't feel the state needs to step in or federal government to step in and say, okay, no, you can't do that no more. You know what I'm saying? That's something that's left up to women. You know, they should be able to determine why and why they shouldn't do it, and that should be it. But being there's just two men on here and my queen on here, Nick, let us know what your thoughts are, your POV on um, this subject here, just actually this rule. I mean, this ruling, what they plan on trying to do about it.
Um, so I'm gonna say, for me, the conversation will not turn into if I believe having an abortion is right or wrong, and I'm gonna ask the audience to respect that as well. Yes, you
Mhm.
can, Terry. Let me send it to you, baby. Give me a second. Y'all, give me a moment. Terry wants to join the conversation, so I'm gonna
Sure.
see your Facebook Messenger, love. Y'all, give me one moment. The other thing is, all right, Terry, you have it now. I don't want to turn it into if I think that is right or wrong. Here's what I personally want to discuss is the government telling me what my personal rights would be. A lot of times people, when they think abortion, they're thinking about someone that had sex, got pregnant because they forgot to use condoms and birth control. But there are situations where people have to terminate pregnancies because of health reasons. It's a life or death. But it also because someone is pregnant by a family member. Someone is pregnant by someone that took something from them without their permission. And I'm pretty sure y'all can read between the lines. I cannot look at her and tell her that I wouldn't want the law to do it either, that you cannot do what you feel you need to do and send her through 9 months of what could be torture for her. Right. And the problem that I have with them overturning it is if this wasn't leaked, we wouldn't know that it's even back up on the decision board. Someone had to leak it for us to even know. So why are y'all being so sneaky? To me, this has a lot to do with them trying to change laws to create an America that once was. And I think we have to be extremely mindful of that. What are you going to overturn next? Will you try to overturn segregation laws? You understand what I'm saying? So those are the issues that I have with this.
Okay,
Sean, you want to jump in,
appreciate
babe?
that. Reese, my
Oh,
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel the same. I mean, because when you when the government starts to regulate your body and your pretty much your lifestyle, that's more almost like being in a communist country. And like Nick said, yeah, certain situations there there is a need to terminate certain things because of the reason or how it happened. So when the government comes in and say no, you can't do that, and like you said, it's almost like okay, what else are you going to try to overturn and take back. Next, like you say, slavery and different things like that. And before you know it, you won't have a say for anything in life anymore. I mean, they don't control everything. And so, like, little bit, piece by piece, they're chunking off at the block. Like, okay, this is a big issue that now we overturn that. What can we hit next that's been so, controversial that we're going to hit this one next? So, and I think they're doing that. And if you look at the elections and different things like that, um, you have so many elected officials that think back and like it was the 1950s and 60s and different things like that. But a new age is coming up and the millennials that's coming up. I'm like, oh my goodness. So we don't know what way or direction this world is going to. And it's so crazy that we're supposed to be a country of togetherness and everything else. And it seems like we're fighting against each other. So I'm completely against, they overturning that and won't give a woman the right to determine what she feel is right for her body.
I love that, but I also want y'all to make sure you pay attention to, again, it was leaked for us to find out about it. What are you back sneaking doing that we don't know what else you're trying to overturn or change? I just think we have to pay attention. Y'all know how I feel about the gorilla and the clown. Don't pay so much attention to the gorilla in the front that you're not paying attention to the clown in the back. It's a lot going on behind the scenes. Terry, thank you for joining us.
What's going on, Nick?
Thank you so much for joining us. What
What's
are your
up, Terry?
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Good.
Speak up just a little bit though.
Okay, can you hear me? We good? All right. So yeah, like the government is always trying to do some backhanded, sneaky stuff. And just like you said, Nick, if this was never leaked, when will we have found out about this? When it was too late? Or what else do they have going on that they're trying to, pass or get rid of that, they're hiding from, the public? I, as far as Roe versus Wade goes, I hate that there's always a room full of men trying to decide what women should be able to do. Like, to me, if you don't have a uterus, if you can't carry a baby, you have no right to tell a woman what decision she can and cannot make for her body. Just like you said, Nick, it's not a pro-life or I'm pro-abortion thing. It's what about the little 12-year-old girl that was raped by her uncle or someone that has to carry this baby now? What about this woman that can potentially lose her life versus having this baby? It's much deeper than what people want to make it. And people are always, talking about, well, we need to stop abortion. We need to stop, people from killing these babies or whatever. But we have so many kids now in foster homes who are looking for families that no one wants to take. So what happens when, all these women who are forced to have these babies that they, feel like they can't take care of or not ready to take care of or whatever have you. Now these kids are in foster cares, and it's just going to make the situation a lot worse. I don't think people really think about, the X, Y, and Z to what they're wanting to do. It's always, this is how I feel. This is what we should do. They don't really think about the if, ands, or buts or any of that thing. And it's just a crazy situation all the way around.
Absolutely ridiculous. I'm going to tell y'all something, and I'm not afraid to talk about it because I have before, but I was raped, and I couldn't fathom, because I was pregnant, I couldn't fathom carrying, and I was so torn, right, because of the decision to do that. And just so happened I actually miscarried, but I tossed and turned with that because of my moral beliefs, because of how I felt. I can only imagine if that was not even a decision I could have been scrapping over because the government took the choice away from me. That's 9 months I would have had to deal with that. You understand what I'm saying? And then there's a child. And so looks like they will bring back orphanages. Ingrid said, looks like they will bring back orphanages. I don't know about this government. I don't know. The way they try to shut down stuff and take away funding from things, I don't know. But I hear what you're saying though, Ingrid. So I just, again, it becomes that you feel you can take that choice, but you were doing it in such a sneaky way that got all my antennas, all my eyebrows and my side eyes going. Seriously. She said institutional child raising money. That part. That
Yeah,
part.
and
But then you
I,
go ahead. Go ahead, baby.
I think too, you know, like you were saying, they try to hide so much stuff, and even like back in like slavery time when the master was getting the slaves pregnant, and they would carry it through, and they would make that woman carry that child, even though they didn't like us, they wouldn't want us near them or their table, but they would make that woman carry that baby to have rule over her body. So it's almost like the same thing today. That man is making that decision, like Terry was saying, for that woman to carry that child when he don't even know the circumstances or what she went through to get impregnated. And you know, it's horrible. And like you say, the laws, they hide different things. Like I never knew that to pass one law, they have 4 or 5 other laws that's written in that bill. So just like in North Carolina when they was talking about the transgender thing to use bathrooms and different things, one of the other things they had to pass in there was the defund the HBCUs. And I'm like, wait a minute. So how can they hide stuff in certain things so we won't know about it? So it's crazy how our society, our government is fighting so much to seem like it's become a communist government instead of home for the free, you know, freedom and bravery and everything that we fought for.
You muted it.
Can't hear you.
Sorry. I was saying, Sean just gave a great example of the gorilla and the clown. That was the best example of it. You got one law with a bunch of hidden laws that are anyway, King, did you want to say anything else?
Nah, like I said, everybody gave great answers towards it, and especially when Terry said a bunch of men making decisions on women's bodies. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, like I was saying earlier, if their boyfriend, or their husband can't, make that decision, why should the government be at the point where they can do it? You know what I'm saying? That's her right to me. That's bottom line. You know what I'm saying? She knows what she's going through, she knows what she's dealing with, and if she feels that this is the reason why, then that should be it. And no government should be able to determine and make that decision.
Yeah.
So, that's my final thoughts on that.
All right, Terry.
And Nick, want to give your final? Oh, okay.
I mean, to me, it's just pretty cut and dry, man. Like, we need to stop trying to force things on people. Not just this situation, but the government is always trying to force things on people when we are supposed to be the land of the free, home of the brave. We're supposed to have freedoms and rights to do, within norms, do what we want. Aside from hurting people or committing crimes, we're supposed to have choice, and the government is always trying to pass things that take choice away from its citizens, and it's just getting out of control.
Sean. I was muted. I was calling Sean. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Can y'all hear me?
yes, I can hear you.
I don't know how I got muted. Go ahead, baby. It's on you.
Yeah, my final thoughts is like we said, the government tries so many different ways and sneaky tactics, and you got people sitting in these high chairs that will never be in a situation. Like me being in the military, some of the stuff that we didn't make sense, but it was sit down from up above and higher ups that never had to deal with it a day in their life. So if you're making decisions on, um, for instance, if you're going outside to plow a field, why would you plow with a spoon instead of a plow? But they would say plow with a spoon because it's more efficient. Well, it's not more efficient to that person, but because they're working harder and it's not getting done correctly. So it's people like that that make these decisions that's never ever in a situation to say, okay, let's think about this and do this different.
I so love that analogy with the spoon. I love that. Y'all see what Ingrid said? Now there will be a push for both birth control and sterilization. Here's the crazy part. Why are you going to push for birth control? What is abort? I can't. What is abortion? I cannot. I can't. That is so true, though, Ingrid. Whew, I cannot. I don't have final thoughts. I've already said what I'm going to say on that because
All righty.
it's still
All
worth
right.
it. I'm not going to do that. Let's hit on
No
the
problem.
next
We got you. We got you.
We're going to talk about, so if you have not heard, Kevin Samuels passed away. And if you watched their POV, you know that was King's boy. However, I want to talk about the legacy that he left behind. Usually when there is a celebrity, there is a social media celebrity or anything like that. When they pass away, you just see condolences and all kind of tributes and all kind of stuff. Y'all, I kind of hate his mama got to read some of that stuff. But if you followed him, people felt a certain way about Kevin. So the legacy that Kevin Samuels left behind is about as bad as people felt about him when he was alive. I want to start with you, King, because you liked you some Kevin Samuels. How did you feel when he passed away? And what are your thoughts on some of the things that people are saying? Have you read what people are saying?
Yes. Yeah. Well, you know what? I didn't. I've heard some of the stuff I read. I did get to get it. I did listen to his last podcast that he had did. Um, yeah, I know. Yeah, anybody that knows me knows that I liked some of the things he spoke about. I can say I didn't really like his delivery, like the way he came off on some people, but I like some of the stuff that he talked about. You know what I'm saying? Some stuff that it was critical, but some made sense to me. But when I found out, then the crazy thing is I found out how he passed. That's another subject. But yeah, I was like, okay, you know, it's messed up. You know, as far as anybody passing away. You know what I'm saying? That's that right there. But I just felt that he was in some cases his message to me made sense if you just took it from the root of what he was saying. You're not taking anything from anybody, but just where some people felt one way about how they should approach things and deal with life. That was just me. I mean, you know, that was just me about him. Um, you know, like I said, I hate to see that he's gone. You know, maybe in the future he would have cleaned it up a little bit better to a certain extent, but you know, we'll never know. You know, rest in peace, Kevin. You know, but yeah, like I said, some of his messages to me made sense.
But the
Some I just felt he was just a little bit too hard.
The question, though, King, is the legacy left behind because of the things that he said. My question to you is, for someone that did like him, and you agree quite often with his views and his delivery, how do you feel?
That I did. I mean, I feel that I don't think it's gonna land. I mean, I don't think it's gonna come across. You know, somebody's gonna pick it up. I mean, well, let me not say that because I've heard a woman. I listened to her talk about it, so it kind of felt like she felt the same way how he felt about how he brought information. So I think some people are going to take what he said and move forward with it. I really do. I mean, I wouldn't personally because I don't want nobody to come at me like that. You know, regardless of how I feel and think about him. But I think somebody's going to take that torch. Somebody's going to actually speak some of the type of philosophy that he talked about and some of the things that he felt that made sense for people moving forward, looking for a certain situation, relationship, and what they should evaluate themselves first on when they think about that. You know, so Yeah, I think it's gonna be some people that actually said, okay, this is, when you're looking for this is what you should look for. This is what you should govern yourself based on. So, yeah, I think it's, I had thought about it myself, but I didn't want that much publicity. So I just felt I'd leave it where it's at, and but
Okay.
yeah.
I mean,
I knew I
Reese,
just knew
you're next.
I was gonna get a response.
Reese, so the question goes to you. You know Kevin Samuels. You know a lot of the things that he talked about, and I don't know if you read a lot of the comments, but how do you feel about the legacy that he left behind and how people feel about him after his death? Hold on, baby, you're muted.
Oh.
Okay, repeat that, Reese.
I think as far as his legacy is going to be, to me, a negative type legacy. I mean, some of the topics that he had and the way, I think it was more of his delivery, the way he came across to something, because some of the stuff were valid topics and what he talked about, but it was just so harsh in how he defamed almost the women that he was talking to. I mean, he could have came across a little better the way he was doing it, but he's going to be known as, to me, like that male chauvinist that talked down to women and, looked at them beneath him. And then, like you said, when you find out how he passed away, where he was and who he was with and all this other stuff, you're like, wait a minute, that's the opposite of what he talked about. So you're like, whoa, so is he one of those fake guys that's out here telling just all here as a show? So to me, once people find that stuff out about that, they was like, oh, he was just a front. He wasn't really, about what he was talking about. So to me, like I said, I never really was a fan of his. Probably would never be. And probably in about 2 years, Kevin who?
So one of the ongoing arguments I had with King was I felt a lot of what basically everything he said was all about the shock value for the money. From the time King introduced that man to me, straight shock value for the money. When he passed away, when they discussed how he died, that to me was even more confirmation, because he spent quite a bit of time putting down an entire race of his own women and literally dogged. I mean, if you had a child, if you were above a certain dress size, he would just dog the women. But then in the manner that he passed away. So that was, to me, just it was a way to make money because people tuned in, and it was the shock value and people tuned in. And so the other thing was, a lot of people have said, and I am not bashing him. I made no bones. I didn't like what he said. I'm not talking about him. I couldn't stand what he said, though. But there were people that were saying that there was a GoFundMe for his funeral, but he would dog a woman that was single, that had children, that wasn't married by a certain age, and would literally tell her that her desire to have more was wrong. Now, you say what you will about whatever he said to them. I'm not going to debate that with anybody. What I'm saying is, you preached and put down a lot of people, and your lifestyle was a little bit different. Those are the things that people are really talking about and discussing as his now legacy. So, Terry, what do you think? What are your thoughts about this? I'm going to take you off of mute. Hold on one second. Go ahead, love.
So first, when I first heard that or saw that he had passed, I was like, wait, this ain't real. Like, this is fake. Because I'm searching, I'm looking, and nothing really came up. But then later on, I found out it was true. I was like, wow. That was my first initial, thought. And then as I saw social media and seen so many people pretty much celebrating him dying. And I'm like, man, I've seen people who I know have been nothing but a bane to society. And people are saying RIP, like, he was such a good guy and blah, blah, blah. But this man, like, people were pretty much like good riddance. Like, I'm glad he died. Like, and it was mainly women where I was seeing this stuff for, and you know, they had their feelings about him or whatnot. And you know, I told a girl at work, I said, you know, you guys were, you know, all up in arms and celebrating what that guy named Derek Jackson, because he was saying, you know, pretty much down talking men, because men should be treating women this way and this way, and they were like, oh my God, Derek Jackson is the best, blah blah blah. Then it comes to find out that he was cheating on his old girl, and I told someone before, like, you got to watch him, because he's only saying what y'all want him to say, what women want to hear. You got to watch him. He's probably fake. Turns out that he was. But you know, Kevin Samuels, he was really harsh in a lot of the things that he said. I didn't like the fact that his target audience was bashing of Black women. He didn't specifically talk about women as a whole. He was talking about Black women. I didn't like that. But if you followed him before he started talking about women, he was really jumping on men. Like he tore men up in the beginning. You got to go back to some of his early podcasts to see where he was like really tearing men up. And I guess he kind of got more notarized for the stuff he was saying to women. And I guess he just took that and ran with it. But I hate that I hate that him dying is still, people still have a sour taste in their mouth for him, because you know, people are always trying to find the good in someone after they die, but I haven't seen anybody saying anything good about this guy. And I really hate that his family has to see that as well.
I agree with you on that. There hasn't been a lot of positive. I'm not celebrating that man is dead. I don't like what he said. I'm definitely not going to celebrate his death, though. And I'm not dogging him as a person. But there are people that were talking about throwing parties. I mean, it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. I feel bad that his mom has to see that stuff. Go ahead, baby.
Oh, no, sir. I went to a party.
You went. I'm not doing that with you, Reese.
It was all right, too.
I'm not.
Yeah, we poured out a little liquor for him, but you know,
I'm not doing that with you, Reese. Anybody else in the final comments?
Yo, Nick, I would like to say that you didn't even have to say anything about how you felt, because the whole time King was talking, your face said everything. Like you rolled your eyes the entire time.
Oh, I gotta watch that because somebody told me that before.
Huh?
I said somebody told me that before. I got to watch my expressions when people talk, because I express myself like.
I don't hide how I feel very well. And the reason I was rolling my eyes because me and King have argued over this man's views. We have argued. And I told him in the beginning, I said, even if I were to say something he said was right, it's the delivery. And he was like, but the women are calling in. I was like, yeah, but you got a lot of insecure women that don't have men. So you think you calling Uncle Kevin to get some advice that'll really help you and shock you to get it together. And the first thing he asked you is, what size dress do you wear? What? I can't.
And what happened probably when he got off the men, some men probably approached him and he was like, whoa, let me get off that subject. Let me talk about some women.
Probably. I think the first episode, or I don't even want to call it episode, the first time he had a woman on and he dogged her the way that he did, it went viral. Like it went viral and boom. Okay, that's where the money is right there. Because when you're building a business, especially in the media, podcasts, all of that, you have to go back and look at your analytics. You have to go back and look at the shows that had a higher rating, the ones that had the most comments. You have to go back and look at that stuff. And I feel like he was like, bet, that's it. Somebody on his team or whoever was on his side was like, that's your niche right there. And he spent, yeah, because he never I never heard him question the men that were the father of these children, but he would dog out these mamas. Well, he would talk them out. But anyway, anybody else with a final comment?
And last thing I like to say, Nick, is that I had to check one of my homeboys because he is a Kevin Samuels daggone fanatic. He's a little minion of Kevin Samuels. And I had to check him one day because he started to really downgrade, black women, and I had to let him know, like, bro, all women don't fit this mold that he is talking about. There are a lot of great women out here who have their self together, who are goal oriented, on point with everything they want to do, and they're just looking for someone who matches their energy. You got to look at the type of woman that you're dealing with, and you don't have to listen to Kevin Samuels to be able to see what kind of person that you're, bringing into your life. Is you have to be able to check yourself on that stuff.
And on there's an app called Clubhouse. On Clubhouse, y'all think I'm lying. I promise you I'm not lying. Daily, there would be a minimum of 50 to 100 rooms that would open up just to discuss either him or high value men, high value women. And the fact that he termed these terms and came up with these definitions, you'd have Black men and women in these rooms arguing over who deserves a high value man or a woman. And it was always about material, and it was always about how much money they made, what their network was. Nobody was ever talking about your high value because you have good character, you take care of your family, you work hard. It was always about the same rhetoric that he talked about. And I would sit in those rooms and listen to Black men and women just dog each other out over somebody's thought of what good was for somebody else. What kind of bull is that? But at the same time, that was a whole lot of power and influence, because even though he's gone now, you still have people that are looking for high value men and women, but they're not looking to, in my opinion, for the right things. What is valuable to you? Mm-hmm. Is her booty and her dress size and him and how much money he makes that important that it overrides if they're a jerk? It overrides if they cheat. It overrides if they're abusive. And is that stuff so important that somebody can look at you and tell you that you ain't worth nothing because you're a certain age and you're not married and you have kids? I will not. You will never. I'm sorry, I went there. My bad. Anybody else? Anybody else want to say something? I'm a hush. Go ahead, King. Yeah, King, you done?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yep. Appreciate just being able to converse about that.
He
gonna cry when we get off. He got a Kevin Samuel shrine in his house.
Yeah.
Y'all need to go there. Y'all definitely need to go there. It wasn't that serious.
Anyway, what would you do if you found out your boo did a background check on you? How would y'all feel if you're in a relationship with someone? Wow. Y'all are in this relationship and you either run across the papers, the background check papers, or she just tells you, babe, I did a background check on you. How would y'all feel about that? Let's start with you, Terry.
I mean, I really wouldn't feel any kind of way because I do it myself. I run background checks on people. If I am, gonna see myself becoming in a serious relationship with you, I'm running background checks because people hide their past, and they do it because they don't want you to not give them a chance because of something that happened, and that's sneaky and that's conniving. Because how dare you allow someone to fall in love with you, invest their all in you, and then they find out that you that molested somebody in your past, or you had some felony charges, or you killed some people in your past, or you embezzled money, or whatever the case. So I definitely do background checks on anyone that I want to tie my life with, and I don't feel bad about it at all. If she feel bad about it, all right, boo, you can go ahead on about your business, because I'm gonna make sure that Terry is safe, because I am my number one priority. Me and my son's number one priority. you can go ahead on with your mess if you feel any kind of way about it.
He dropped the mic on that one. All right, Sean, what about you?
Well, I tell them that's fine because I check your credit score and your bank account, so we
Boom.
good.
Reese say what that credit do.
Yeah. Let me see if you got something over 700, so we can be comfortable. But yeah, I wouldn't mind if somebody did a background check on me because, like Terry said, you waste a lot of time in life and find out later on down the line. Because I had a friend that she got married and everything, and maybe 5 or 6 years later, she said her husband started acting different. And come to find out, he had murdered somebody, his last wife, and she never knew anything about it. And she was so scared and afraid that she actually hid out for like 2 years. Didn't nobody know where she was. So I think it is important because some people, the lady right now that's on the run, the sheriff, the officer that brought the guy to jail and he was in there for murder. I mean, she knew, but just imagine he got out and didn't tell nobody and they living happily ever after and something happened there. So I think it is important if you don't have anything to hide that, save me sometime. Don't waste my time. And we done did 5 or 6 years and come to find out you're a serial killer. So, do a background check. You're not going to find anything. So I wouldn't mind.
And so you can.
Hey, my thing is, ask me what you need to know. I don't mind telling you. I don't have a past that's not worth telling you about. So I don't feel you need to have no background check in the sneak, in the secret seat. You know what I'm saying? We sit down. I'm getting to know you, getting to know me. We talk. Ask me about ask me any question to ask me. I ain't got no problem. How's your credit? Jacked up. You ever killed nobody? No. You got any felonies? Yeah, I had a few. You know what I'm saying? And I tell you what it is. I ain't got a problem. You ain't got to do no background check on me. Let me know what you want to know, because that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna ask you. Just like I sit down. My thing is when I sit down, when I used to go out, I holler at somebody. First thing, hey, how you doing? This and that. We get the comment. How you got any kids? I just ask them. And I had a preference. If it was like 2, our conversation was done. Kept it moving. So I'm gonna ask you what I need to ask you. I don't need to run the background check on you. You're gonna be truthful about it. That's my thing. Be upfront and honest. I'm gonna ask you the questions. Tell me about what I need to know. Now, the jacked up part is if you lie. If I find out something you lied, then I'm gonna run the background check on you. Because now I need to know what's really there. I ain't gonna have no problem with telling you. I ain't never killed nobody. To me, that's the worst thing you could do. So we go from there. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, let me tell you, give me that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Let's have that conversation and you ask me anything you want to know. I don't have a problem with that. So, but you got to go, you got to go ahead and do a background check. Like, really? You couldn't ask me anything? I could tell you what was on there. You know what I'm saying?
But
What was wrong?
that's almost like, yeah, I never killed nobody, but I tried.
No, what I'm saying.
I didn't kill nobody, but I tried.
The poison.
But I'm saying still, even the conversation, still, my thing is you want the honesty. And my thing is, I don't feel you have to do a background check. If I'm feeling you, you feeling me, and we feel, ask me. If it was a self-defense thing or something happened, I was acting a fool. If. Mm-hmm.
But most times.
So, Keen, this question's for you since you feel that the background checks are a no-no. Number one, how is somebody supposed to know you telling the truth? Because you just asked me, bro, I just met you.
And most of the time, if you ask that question and you really like that person. I'm sorry. Now we can.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry about that. Y'all know how people try to call when I'm live. Anyway,
Gotcha.
If I just met you, I don't know if you're a liar. So I can't just take your word.
Well,
hold on. Let me finish. I can't just take your word for it.
Okay, go ahead.
But you're okay with if a job does a background check on you. You're okay with that to get the job. You're not okay with it to get the girl?
No, because my thing is we're gonna have a conversation, and like you said, it's not gonna be with so much information. We're gonna tell each other on that first date anyway. Let's be real. We ain't gonna go out and just throw everything because it might not go past that first date.
Not first date, but just the initial getting to know of each other. Nobody really knows you just to trust you
right
at the gate the first few months. But I'm saying, but you would allow a job to do a background check on you?
Can I
Yeah, I
say one
mean,
thing?
and the only reason because of that.
Go ahead.
Only reason that's the case because I guess they want to, for whatever reason, they want to check behind because that's a job. They can pay me some money, so they want me to do a job, and that's at their location or whatever their facility and what they feel they got to protect and however they want to do this.
Right.
And
So
but I'm getting
so
paid,
she wants to
and I'm
protect
getting
her heart and her kids and her home.
okay,
But you
right.
would not be okay with that.
Is that relationship not paying you
I
dividends
ain't,
too? Like,
what I'm saying, okay, hold up. My thing is, it might not even go that far. See, I might be still in my job 5 years. I might be with her a year. So I mean, like, my thing is, you want to know, you can tell because your dividends might not be with the dividends I'm making over here. So I'm gonna disclose what needs to be disclosed, and I ain't got a problem with that because I ain't got nothing to hide. So that conversation, like you said, as we get to know each other, hey, I don't have a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, if you got kids, I know that up front. You know what I'm saying? Just like us meeting them or whatever, all that. But I'm saying just I feel like give me that opportunity to tell you what you want to know from me before you feel that you got to go behind my back and get you a background check.
Go
Because you
ahead,
ain't like you're
Richie.
gonna come and say, "Well, I'm going to run a background check on you." Go
I
ahead.
mean, it's like a show a couple of shows ago where the lady owned the house, but she was telling the husband that she was paying rent and didn't know that she owned the house. So what if that happened to you? You living with a woman, she didn't tell you, you didn't do a background check, but she like, nah, yeah, we good, we live here, but not telling you that she actually owned the house.
Well, see again, like I said, that situation was trying to jacked up because my thing is we done been together 5 years, and when I've been helping you pay this rent, what I'm saying, or mortgage, whatever, in your case, it's mortgage, you own the house. I don't feel that you don't trust me enough to tell me that you own the house. I mean, don't get me
But if
wrong,
you
I ain't
would
got a problem because we live together, so I'm helping you pay. So that's okay, but you can't be a woman enough to tell me that you own the house. I don't
but
understand. We've been together
if you would have
5 years.
done a
This ain't no.
if you would have done a background check, you would have knew all that.
But see, I shouldn't have to do that. I'm getting to know you, and we living together now. Why I gotta do a background check to find out you own the house that I'm helping you pay for? I don't. You know
So
what I'm
that
saying? So
tells
right there, I feel that's a.
you know, King,
exactly. So you don't
To me,
waste
that's
your
a
5 years on a woman that you don't even know if you can trust or not because she wasn't honest enough to say, I own this house. So if you would have found out earlier, you like, okay, so what else are you lying about? Are you the person that you say you are? So doing that initial background check where, like I said, I didn't have anything to hide, but she shouldn't have had anything to lie, but she still told him, you know, lied about
Well,
it.
like my thing is with the okay. My thing is like this. Okay, not that she had to lie about it. We started living together. I'm paying towards it. So my thing is, if you felt a year of me living with you, us together, 2 years, about a year, almost 2 years, feels comfortable. Okay, well, he's gonna be here for it because he's paying. I don't have to ask him for it or whatever. I feel okay. You let me know that you own the house. But to go a whole 5 years and I've been religiously handing you this ends or it's been in the whatever, how we paying it, and you gonna wait 5 years to tell me probably when your mortgage got paid off? Oh, by the way, I own the house. Are you serious? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And my thing is, I don't have a problem. The thing was, I never had a problem paying. I just felt that why you just disclose that you own the house. It'd have been the same thing with me. If you was living with me, you know what I'm saying? She was living with me, and she was helping me pay the rent or whatever. I wouldn't wait no 5 years until I own the house. You know what I'm saying? I give a good year because I'm like, okay, let me see if you're consistent. You know what I'm saying? You said you're gonna help, and this is what's up. So we don't live
I
together
don't,
for a whole year. Going to.
I don't want to get off topic, but I'm saying she got 5 years left on that mortgage. So you done help pay for that mortgage for the 5 years. You thinking y'all are renting to go somewhere else to have something that y'all can own together. But she like, I got this. This is mine already. So if anything happens, it's hers.
Yeah, but still, either way, you got to pay where you go. You got to pay where you live. That just goes without saying. So I didn't have a problem with paying. My thing is, I just felt you could have been a woman enough to tell me that you owned it. I'm still gonna pay for where I am. I'm not gonna sit here and just stay on you. So my thing is, you could have just let me know. Hey, check this out. This is my house. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't have said, well, why didn't you tell me, you know what I'm saying, if it was like just a year? Okay, cool. You wanted to feel comfortable about us living together and me doing what I said I'm gonna do. But 5 years later, I mean, like, God, baby, you could
I'm
in the year
I'm gonna
two.
pull I'm gonna pull the conversation back to the topic.
Okay, my bad. Yeah.
Saying says that there are no secrets. I have nothing to hide. My past was no secret. When my wife and I met, asking questions will reveal all as we get to know each other. Truth will reveal. He says discernment will reveal if a person in relationships are being truthful or not. Nicole says, "What's up, everybody? What's up, Coley Cole?" And
Hey,
transparency
Nicole.
eliminates
Uh,
background checks. So here's the thing with that, though, James. I don't know if there's a lack of transparency as much as it is a lack of us asking questions and really getting to know each other. Sometimes we just start jumping up and down inside of each other, and then we try to develop a relationship from there. Or we just move in together and then we're trying to discover things about each other versus having those tough questions. Because a lot of people won't ask the tough questions because you don't want to lose the person. You don't want them to walk away because you're asking them this or that. But on that topic that Reese brought up, my answer to that was if old boy had conversations with her before just moving in with her, he would have known that he's about to pay mortgage, not rent. But he moved in sight unseen. That's like looking at a house online and automatically paying for it, but you didn't go do the walkthrough. So once you pay for it and you sign, that's it. You get it. You get there and it's full of roaches and it don't look like it looked online. You got to start, you got to do your due diligence. That's not to say that you don't search and look and ask the questions and still end up with a frog or a jerk. But you have to really ask questions. I don't see anything wrong with doing a background check. Y'all didn't ask me, but I'm going to tell you. I don't see anything wrong with doing it. If something in you is saying red light, well, y'all did red light, red flag, go do the background check because we tend to ignore that voice, that discernment, that thing that's telling us caution, caution, caution. We'll break that caution tape and going on into it. And then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years or months later, we're like, dang it, I didn't know. Yes, you did. There were signs and you ignored them. So if something in you is saying, I don't know if he on the up and up or she on the up and up, do what you got to do. And you can do background checks via social media. I throw that tip out there. I ain't gonna tell you how I know that, but anyway, James says when you're establishing something, real tough questions must be asked. Absolutely. So I'm gonna ask y'all this question. Let's start with we're gonna go backwards. King, when you and your real tough question is not how many kids she have. Did you ask real tough questions when you were dating?
Oh yeah,
At the beginning.
I dove in. I mean, like I said, when we first, I tell you, everybody know my initial conversation. I'm taking you to lunch, so we already know that.
Right. We
So
go about the food
sometimes I
drive
always
and
get a
all that.
vibe.
Right.
I'm just saying, hey, I'm just saying, I get a vibe from that, right? To some people, no big deal. So, so after we done left that, you know what I'm saying? Now we go somewhere else. We don't, put it like it's going into like the month 2. So I mean, as we move, I'm asking the questions. And as we move, I'm asking the questions. I'm like, because you already asking the issues, where you work, you know what I'm saying, how long you been on your job. I ain't asking about your pay,
What's
but I'm,
what's
I'm
what's one of
asking
the
these
tough
questions.
questions you ask, King? What's one of your tough
When
questions?
the toughest,
What's one of the tough questions
it
that you
depends.
ask?
Okay, I think like if I go with you got a kid, and say your kid is 6 months, and this is just to me, um, and say for 6 months, your baby's father's still in his life or her life. To me, that's a tough question because I don't need the problems. I don't want the, you know what I'm saying? If he is, I want to know, you know what I'm saying? Well, I don't want no half stepping. Is he prominent in the kid's life? Does he live in the
Okay.
same city? So that to me, in that situation, that's
Okay.
a tough. That to me is, some people might think that's personal. No, I don't think it's personal because I ain't got time to be playing games with you. I'm
Okay.
sitting up in your crib and you just roll in. But yeah, that was one of my tough one of my get to tough questions to let you know, hey, I need to know this.
Okay. Reese, did you ask when you were still dating? Did you ask tough questions in the beginning? And if so, what are one of your tough questions that you would ask?
I didn't ask tough questions in the beginning. Um, I think our conversation just um she was just easy to talk to. We talked about everything. I don't think there was nothing hid. I talked about my ex. She talked about her ex. Our families really got along. I was around her family a lot. Her family, my family, she was around my family a lot. So it wasn't. I can't say anything that was really hard or I didn't know because we was introduced from a mutual friend, and they knew a lot about me and a lot about her, and we just sat around and talked because at first she was like, if you anything like you're our friend, I don't want to talk to you. And I'm like, no, I'm not like that. So we kind of knew each other before, and it was more of us getting to know the stuff that we each other liked. We kind of find out like we like hot dogs a certain way. We like the water, and there's a lot of things that we found that we had in common. And even like with me riding motorcycles, she always wanted to learn. So I taught her or gave her the fundamentals of it. She went and took the bike course and she learned how to ride. And so she bought a motorcycle. We got a motorcycle. So I don't think there was too many hard questions in the beginning that I could have. But if I had to, I can't even think of a hard question that I would ask her right now because like I know everything.
Okay. So Terry, you're still dating. Do you ask the tough questions in the beginning? And if so, what's one of your tough questions?
So in the very beginning, I don't, because I just try to feel you out, try to see what the vibes are. But like I said, if I feel like I want to go further with you, I do ask tough questions because, we can talk all day about transparency and people being real. The truth of the matter is human beings are innately flawed, and people will only tell you so much of the truth. They'll answer the question that you asked, but they're leaving out a lot of underlying stuff. And like I said, it's because they don't want you to not give them a chance. Maybe they're not doing anything sneaky or underhand. It's just that they don't want to mess up an opportunity. So I'm still do my background checks regardless. I'm going to ask my questions and I'm going to do my background check to see if everything lines up with what you said. But one question I always ask is, what do people in relationships complain about them the most? Because everybody's always, trying to say, well, my last relationship didn't work out because they were crazy or whatever. It's always they. So I always ask someone, what do people complain about them the most in a relationship? And you'd be surprised, like a lot of people find that hard to answer because most people aren't in tune with themselves, and they don't like checking themselves a lot. They don't like looking at their own flaws and working on their own stuff and really figuring out who they are. So they can't really answer, that question because to them it's always someone else and not them.
Coming to your comment in just a second, James. So for me, y'all didn't ask me, but I'm gonna tell you. I do, and I go with the flow of conversation. But one question I'm going to ask is, the last time you were in a relationship, when was it? And what happened? Like, why did y'all break up? What I can't stand is when someone goes in and starts calling their ex a bitch. They go in and I mean, the ex was just wrong. And at the end of the story, I heard nothing about the role that you played. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say, so did you go back and think about what you did, what you could have done better? And like you said, sometimes people are like, but I just told you that it was them. It's never just one person. There are two people in a relationship. I want to know what role you played in the relationship. And then if you were married, I'm going to ask questions about that because your representative is who I get at the beginning. And that's just what it is. We're going to all get the representative because everyone's going to put their best foot forward. I love that your representative showed up, but I need to see beyond that person to see who you are, because I don't want to fall in love with your representative. And then as soon as we're going to be in a relationship together, you start unzipping and unpeeling yourself. And this is not even who I got. No, I need to get beyond that representative. Can I get somebody to hit this comment, please, from James?
Sure, I got it.
I want to know everything. Our very first conversation, my wife and I talked 4 hours, revealing truth and realness.
I love that. So yeah, I don't have a problem with asking questions. What I will say is I'm cautious about someone that wants to know everything about me and doesn't want to tell me anything about them. And I don't mean he's like really interested. So he's like, and Nick, tell me this. I mean, like he'll ask me something and then I'll say, okay, well, what about you? And the answer is like less than 5 words, or you don't have an answer, or you're fidgeting. Like you trying to fumble for something to say. Those are some more side-eye red flags for me. Were you going to say something, King? No. All right, Reese, did you want to say something?
No.
I'm like I said, me, it was just a comfortable conversation. It didn't feel like anything was being hidden, and we just got along so good. And that's I think every relationship that when you start out like that and you feel comfortable, like you say, if you meet the representative, then the CEO show up later on because you're gonna always make him look good. And like you say, that once that person come out and you give them all the accolades and stuff, then you find out who the real person is. So it was just just feeling comfortable from the beginning. So
All right, anybody else last thoughts before we hit the last topic?
Yeah, just let me say one more thing, Nick, and the the one reason why I do background checks for myself is because people do hide things, but for me personally, I see red flags, but my curiosity makes me want to know how red those flags are sometimes. So
Are
I'm
they
like,
crimson?
are they
Are they light or are they
burgundy or
crimson?
like are they
Yeah.
bright neon red? Like,
Yeah.
is this Six Flags over Georgia and I can have a little fun? So I just try to avoid, doing all that for myself and just go ahead and doing those background checks. But so there was an incident where I knew a guy and I've known him for 6 years, and he was a coach. I met him through coaching, and he had been married for several years, and turns out that this guy was pretty much like a low level drug kingpin, and and his wife didn't even know this about him. He ended up robbing like some drug cartel and got himself killed, and his wife only found out because that happened.
Wow.
And they had to move her and her family because of the cartel and all this good jazz. So people will, if people want to hide stuff good enough, they will pull out the red carpet and make that thing look real good. So I think background checks for me is a good thing to do.
Man, I know somebody that was trying to date me that had children that lied and said that those were his nieces. When you lie about your babies, kid you not, listen, inviting me over and all these beautiful, and I don't know what he was thinking. Like, you got all these pictures on the wall, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know you. Those your babies? Like, nah, those are my nieces.
Oh, you love your nieces like that, huh?
That's what I said. I was like, you really love them babies because they were every, and I don't mean just like a couple from the school. They were like baby pictures, and you know what I'm saying. The pigtail pictures was a lot of them. Yeah, people will lie. People will lie. Everybody doesn't, but yeah, those were his nieces. Turned out those were daughters.
See, I thought this was just Terry. You really do background checks, bro?
Yes.
Look,
Hey, if not, bro, I would do them in a heartbeat. And the crazy thing is, I have an uncle who used to work for the FBI, so I can get mine. Trust.
Gotcha.
you about to find out about heist and everything. I love that. I do. All righty, King, darling. Here go your subject. You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
It's on you, boo.
Yes, y'all. Yeah. So, like I said, I hate that we didn't do it when we was off Mother's Day. But, fellas, is it okay for your man to buy a Mother's Day gift for his child's mother, baby mama, how you want to put it? You know, inquiring minds want to know. What do y'all think? You know, we'll start with you,
Let's start with
Terry.
you. Let's go
Who,
ahead,
me?
King. Start with you. Yeah.
Well, first of all, I don't have one. But if it was the case, um, me personally, it was the case. Mother's Day gift. I feel like this. It depends on the age of the kid. I'm gonna put it honestly. It depends on the age of the kid. If I had a 5-year-old, 6-year-old, something like that, yeah, no big deal. That's from your mother. That's from you. So and I'll buy it. You know what I'm saying? Here, get this to your mother from you, saying Happy Mother's Day. He was in his teens, some 14. I ain't know, bro. You supposed to be making your own money, like allowance or something around the house, whatever. No, I'm not doing that. But 5 or 6 years old, you ain't got nowhere to get the money from. It's just a gesture. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see it as a problem. So that would be the only reason that I would, if that was the situation. So
Terry?
that's
Um, so I'm not I'm not personally gonna buy a gift and give it to my son's mom, but if my son wants to, get something for his mom, I'm his sole provider. So I'm gonna like, okay, this is what you want, this is what you want. Now we're not about to be all expensive now. We're gonna get a car and a balloon,
2 for 25.
yeah, we're gonna keep this, gonna go to Five and Below. I'm gonna get your mom some stuff. But
Silver
That's
headphones.
yeah, you're gonna give her a gift card or something. But if he wants to do something for his mom, I'll do it for him. But personally, I'm not gonna go and buy my son's mom a Mother's Day gift, especially if I have a woman in my life, because I have to see how she feels about that type of deal, because women, you guys are territorial a lot of times, and you don't want to feel like your man is still going over to his baby mama's house every now and again. And so I'm not going to personally do it, but for my kid, I'll do that for him.
What if your current girlfriend or wife was cool with it? Would you do it then?
I'm still not going to do it personally, but if I was someone that did it, I'm going to check with her first and make sure it's okay. And if she's fine with it, after I check about 50 times to make sure she's fine with it. You gotta check 50 times to make sure she's fine with it. I'll if I was that person, I'd do it then,
Reese.
Well, I know my son's selfish as hell. He wouldn't even buy me a Father's Day gift, so
we don't matter.
yeah, we don't even. I don't even think they know when Father's Day is. Yeah, they knew Mother's Day. No, there's a Father's Day. So, but for my son,
gifts for y'all though. I ain't gonna even lie. Go ahead.
Yeah, but for my son, I did buy his mom presents, and I would take him to the store to see what he wanted to pick out. But after I got married, like you say, it's a different situation then, because even though I told him, I said, you need to get your mom something. And like I said, he still never thought about anybody else but him. He would get, what am I getting for Christmas? What am I doing? And I'm like, don't you think of anybody else? But still, until he was like maybe 14 or 15, I told him, I said, I'm not doing this no more. You have to save your money up if you want to buy your mom something. I said, even if it's a card, I said, you got to be responsible. If you want people to treat you the way you want to be treated, you got to show them the same. You got to show them the same. So, and it wasn't never a problem, even after I got married with my wife, because my wife and my son's mom, they spoke. They used to take trips together, which people thought it was strange. But I'm like, why not everybody get along? And everybody I thought it was strange too in the beginning. But they used to come over to the house for Super Bowl, her and her husband, and it was just, it makes it easier that way. But once everybody saw it, they're like, that's real cool. But I think it's just a respect thing from everybody, not just you going out on yourself and then later on, well, why you do that? It's a conversation piece first to make sure your spouse or your significant other feels comfortable with it.
I love all those answers. I love all of them. Y'all better take Terry's advice and check about 50 good times. I don't care. You done bought it. Check again.
50 times. You got to check. 50 11.
Hey, big brother. My brother says shalom, everybody. All righty. So, 50 11 times. Check. All of them. Check. And check again. All righty. So, closing remarks. King, let's start with you. Well, you know what? We'll end with you. Terry, what's your closing remark or thought on anything that was discussed today?
I guess my final thought is that we need to be, as citizens in this country, we need to be vigilant on knowing everything that's out there, because the government will hide things. Misinformation is out there, so don't just go off of what you see on social media or what you hear someone say. Do your own research on everything, and do extensive research, because there's everything is out there for us to know, but people are just so stuck on not wanting to search and find stuff for themselves. They just want to go off of whatever they see on this little screen here, because knowledge is everything, and you can't be fooled if you're already on top of the game.
That part might drop on that. I'm gonna hit mute on y'all for a second before we come to you, Reese. I just want to hit this real quick. If you have enjoyed today's episode, first of all, we thank y'all so much for tuning in. Please be sure to follow us or like us on Facebook and on Instagram. You can always find the replays as well as live recordings. That sounds so old. On our YouTube page at Their POV with Nick and King. If you are ever interested in joining us on stage to co-host with us, as Reese and Terry have so graciously done today, hit us up at nickandking@gmail.com. There you can also send us suggestions of topics that you would like for us to discuss. Find your girl at the Obstacle Overcomer Podcast. Please connect with me on Instagram and Facebook. Do a follow so you'll know every time there is an episode uploaded. You can also find a lot of daily inspiration and motivation on these pages, as well as through the podcast. I am on YouTube, and you can also go to theobstacleovercomer.com. Reese, love, go ahead and hit us with your last comments.
First of all, thank you again for inviting me. It feels so good to be here to talk to everybody again. I mean, this is like therapy for me. I just enjoyed the topics as always, and you get a bigger or better outcome or a different view on things when you finally hear from other people's point of view. Like you said, the government with that thing is just unbelievable how they stay in people's business and try to make decisions for you that's not always in the best interest for yourself. I want to say again, sorry, Chill, for your loss with Mr. Kevin Samuels. We know that's gonna be hard for you to, but anyway. But like I said, everything, I enjoyed being on here again tonight, and hopefully I can step in again sometime. And much love to all y'all. Thank you, Nick.
You are forever welcome. Y'all know that. Like, y'all rescued me because King went out. On the fourth time, I was like, I need a co-host. I didn't know what was happening, but y'all jumped in. Who is that? Sorry, somebody's at my door. Y'all jumped in, and I appreciate it. So thank you. King, we did it again, love. What are your final thoughts?
Yes, ma'am.
On just one page, what are your final thoughts?
Okay, I already believe me, it's there. First of all, I just want to thank the co-host, Reese, Harris. Y'all know how we rock. You know what I'm saying? Glad y'all could show up for me in case of I wasn't going to be here. Because, y'all good fit-ins and stuff. Always enjoy y'all point of views when y'all on the show. Thank you. I'm just going to say, hey, do the right thing. Make your decisions based on your beliefs, on what you feel is right. You know what I'm saying? If you need to do a background check, do a background check. Other than that, I'm glad, that y'all was able to be here on the show. My co-host, just want to say again, happy birthday. You're getting old, Nick. Just messing with you.
I'm getting better, baby. Call it what you want.
I know. Just messing with you.
You're fine.
What you want.
I'm just messing. She know that. She know we've known too many years. You know what I'm saying? I remember when she was just a pup. So she's. So y'all appreciate everybody coming. Thank y'all. The King is out.
Well, thank you again, King Terry, King Reese, for joining us. Y'all stepped in. Y'all's comments and views are always welcome. You are always welcome. And I hope y'all know that. I love y'all. Nikki loves y'all so much. King, we're going to chip in. We're getting a new device, phone. William Pleasant will tell you it's that Wendy's drive-through headset. Anyway, I love you. We
love you too. We definitely gonna work it out. I'm gonna work it out. Well, yeah, you're right. I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna work it out. Work it out.
I don't either. But we want to also thank our audience for tuning in and joining us. We'd love to leave you guys with the word of the week. I first want to say thank you again for all the birthday love. Again, we send our prayers out to the victims of that unnecessary murder that took place yesterday in Buffalo, New York. But the word of the week is going to be research, whether it's the government or your relationship. Research, people. There's nothing wrong with it. Love you guys so much. And as always, kings and queens, keep reigning.
Yeah.